Alright, this is lesson 3 of the Afrobeat production course, and in this video we are diving into an essential topic for every music producer. Well, understanding harmony and how to create chord progression is a fundamental skill that will elevate your Afrobeat production to the next level. So let's jump right in.
Alright, let's do a quick recap. We are in the key of C. Let's start by building the tonic chords on each note of the scale. First, select the tonic note. From there, we skip a note in the scale, that's the D, and select the E. Skip the F and select the G. Here, we follow same procedure to make all the chords in the scale. So these are all the chords on the major scale, and we already know which chords are major, minor, or diminished. So to make chord progression, all you do is to mix and match any of these chords in a sequence. Alright, but in this tutorial, we are going to skip the experimental part, and I'll just give you the source on chords that sound good together when you mix and match them. So let me represent all the chords with numbers. Give them these fancy names. So the first and third is our tonic chords. They are the home chords in any musical piece. They give the sense of rest or resolution. Like every other chords in the key, revolves around the first and the third, and you can basically go to any other chord from these tonic chords, so take note. Now let's move on to the fifth and then the seventh. These are the dominant chords. Like, they play a key role in adding tension and always want to go back to the tonic, a more relaxed, resolved chord, creating some dynamics, some tension and release. And lastly, the remaining chords, the second, fourth, and then the sixth, are the subdominant chords. They serve as the middle chords between the tonic and then the dominant. They also want to go back to the dominant. Well, these are just guides to help us build chord progression effortlessly, and they'll generally sound good, so you don't need to worry about anything. But as you experiment and get more comfortable, you can incorporate your own creativity for the progression to sound more unique. Alright, with this theory under your belt, let's proceed to making chord progression. So let's start from the home, the first, tonic. And remember, we can go anywhere from the tonic. Let's try with the sixth, the subdominant. Then the second, another subdominant. Maybe copy the sixth and then end the progression with that. Remember, the resting place is the tonic, loops back to the first, which is so typical, from subdominant to dominant. Now this brings us to inversions. You basically move notes close to each other to create smooth transition in the progression. I'll move the A from the D minor chord downwards. Now we have a sustained A note at the bottom, or maybe invert the G. Lastly, extend the A minor to make it a 7th chord. Just experiment. Alright, let's take another example. Let's start from the second, subdominant. And they always want to go to the dominant. So let's do the fifth. Now we can bring it home to the tonic to give the progression a sense of conclusion. So the third and then the first. We do inversions to connect this note together. With these two chords, the D is common, so we move them close. Either we go up or down. It just depends on your mood. Now we move on to the next two chords, which are in good position, so we leave them as it is. But you can still change the voicing, interchange the position of note, and then listen to what it sounds like. Well, with this progression, you get the sense of conclusion with these two. Anyways, let's invert it and listen to it. Like, I don't really know, but it feels like it wants to go somewhere. Let me make it a 7th chord. Now it gives you the power conclusion, the tension and then the resolution at the same time. Now let's look at chord progression in popular Afrobeat songs and then we'll analyze them. So the first progression we are going to use is the 1-4-5-4. This progression was used in Wizkid's Soccer. So we invert this note to connect them, and this is what we have. So let's analyze it. So if we begin from the first, the tonic note, we can go to any other chord. So they went to the subdominant, the 4th. And then we know that the subdominant always want to go to the dominant. So they went to the 5th. And then from the 5th back to the 4th again. And then the subdominant loops back to the tonic. That's perfect. It follows the theory. So next up is Davido's If. The progression was 1-5-6-4. It wasn't ultimately played like this in this rhythm, but get this at your fingertips and you can experiment and generate your own rhythm. So we have the tonic going to the dominant, and then the dominant going to the subdominant, and then another subdominant, and then it loops back to the tonic again. Easy. So lastly, Brown Town's Mad Over You. So the progression is 1-6-4-5. So from the tonic to the subdominant, and then another subdominant, and then the dominant. Remember that the subdominant acts as a bridge in between the tonic and then the dominant. So that's a typical example. So we have the tonic and then 2 subdominants within acting as a bridge to go to the dominant. So that's all for this video. The rest is up to you for you to practice and experiment, interchange chords, play it in different rhythms until you come up with your own. Like always, thanks for watching, and in the next video we'll be looking at cadences, 2 chords that really sound good together.